Welcome back, everybody, to 7CR. We're recording May 29th, and it's been a week, fellas. Vault of Glass came back, some Stasis patch notes. Stasis has finally been put under the guillotine. The season's going full swing. Got some nice story elements going. The weapons are great.
Good. Yes. Absolutely are.
Whoever thought putting Slice Shot on a grenade launcher, you're an insane man, and I love you for it.
To be like, I definitely got to agree. As far as I'm always skeptical of Fallen seasons. They're probably like, from like a lore perspective, the least interesting race to me. So like anything that usually has to do with them, I'm just like, whatever. Everything tied to it's usually kind of meh to me. But yeah, no, everything this season's been kind of, as far as weapons go, it feels great. Anytime I think of Fallen weapons, I think back to what's that like sidearm pistol thing from D1?
Trespasser.
Drake's Promise.
Yes.
Drake's Promise.
Drake's Promise. Think of that, and I'm just like,
But on the flip side, Lord of Wolves.
Yeah, and Queen's Breaker. But like, it's just like, I'm just like, Trespasser, that existed.
Yeah, not gonna argue that. So, Stasis was up on the chopping block. What do we got? Mr. Pyro coming in with the patch notes.
Yes. So, they kind of, before they even got into the actual nerfs, they kind of acknowledged that, abilities shouldn't be the end-all be-all as far as encounters go. They should accentuate or augment combat, but rarely solve an encounter by themselves.
So you're saying Hunter's basically saying random bullshit go is not okay according to Bungie.
I don't do that. Okay.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Watch me play Hunter. Build crafting is rewarding within the moment combat loop of Destiny, which honestly, if they really get into that, I would be really excited.
How would they go about doing builds in PvP? Like,
random.
Can you make the 7 Seraph's weapons drop war mine cells in PvP? Like,
not necessarily. I don't want to say necessarily like weapon mods. More so like, I don't know. Like I almost would like a Division-esque classified approach.
Okay, now that could be cool. Not gonna argue that.
Like those were really cool armor sets and stuff. I don't know how the hell you would implement it in D1 or D2, but things like that would be kind of cool. I think builds would be, if they're looking to expand upon that, I hope they do.
The way me and our friend Ace do our build, like armor setups, we kind of do that with builds. Like with our playstyle, like he'll focus on melee because dude is like a human cannonball with ballistic slam. And with me, I'm all about setting up my barricade and sniping through it. So I'll stack resilience, like a normal Titan, but there's certain things like you can do armor-wise that kind of does that. But I get what you're saying, that you want something a little more specialized.
In depth. I think a little bit more in depth, and adding layers to PvP, right? Like, so like, I don't want to get too far off here, but like adding layers to PvP where it's, I know we've had this discussion where like, yeah, the gunplay in Destiny's real smooth, but it's also a game where like aim assist is stupidly high, and if you tried to play like an actual shooter competitively, you'd probably get stomped.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that.
But adding an additional layer to it where like I can, I don't know, build a certain way to kind of, I don't want to complement my playstyle, or somebody else's playstyle would be really cool to see, and something new to Destiny that would keep a game that's been on the, how many years are we into D2? 4
or 5?
It's we've been in something like that would add, like, I would say, like, almost a breath of fresh air, not just to PvP, but the whole game in general. But anyway, don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole. So yeah, stasis changes. So let's start with the freeze. Reduce duration of all non-super freezes versus players to 1.35 seconds. Note, this freeze is too short to break out of, so breaking out now is only possible when frozen by a super.
I'm down with that.
I like that because breaking out is super inconsistent, and I hate it.
Bingo.
It's useless for me. I don't even bother.
Let the record show that a Hunter and Titan agreed on this day.
You're either going to die, or you're just going to sit there and spam the button and be like, why didn't I break out?
Yep.
Exactly.
So, definitely a good change. Reduce special weapon, heavy weapon, and light ability bonus damage versus frozen players from plus 50% to plus 5%. So
basically, before, if you used to be frozen, you could be shotgun from like 20 feet away. It was ridiculous.
Definitely a solid change. We'll see how future fragments and aspects end up affecting things like that. I always feel like they do things like this, and then they're just like, here's a new aspect that completely undoes this nerf. But
I mean, that is fair.
We'll see.
Hedron's got wrecked. I remember that.
Yes. So next up, though, is Stasis Slow. This one is one I'm pretty sure we can definitely all agree on. No longer reduces weapon accuracy. That is probably the most annoying thing about being slowed. Is you're slowed, and then you have the accuracy of like.
And the community have been calling that for that since it was released.
Since release,
since it came out.
It's like, fine, slow me, make me can't move, but make me be able to have a chance of winning with my shot.
It, however, now increases weapon flinch when under fire. So if you're slowed and you're getting shot at, your flinch is going to be a little bit higher than it would be, which is kind of good in a way. Kind of brings value to the stability stat, I guess, in a way.
It's actually very fair. I didn't even think about it that way.
I'm not absolutely in love with that. I will see how much it affects it. It might need tweaking, but I think it's a fair compromise.
Yeah.
No longer suppresses class, ability, and air movements.
So you'll be able to dodge out.
Example Icarus stash. I would like to know if it affects if they thought of Bacchus.
It won't. It's still a movement ability. The only one that they said is still going to be affected by it was the Ionic Blink. And that is going to be patched eventually. They are aware that it is busted.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's going to affect. I wonder if they're going to acknowledge that it also affects Nova Warp or not. Or is that considered part of Ionic Blink? That dark blink or whatever you get?
That's its own thing. Okay. But I assume that if they didn't specify that it's still busted, then.
And this is why we have a Nova Warp main in the podcast, because we don't know shit about Warlock.
I read something on Reddit about it, and I was like, ooh.
No, it was noticeable too.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
Reduce movement speed penalty while slowed by 20%. So
you're gonna move
a little bit faster. No, a little faster.
Oh no!
So they're reducing the penalty by 20%. Yeah. So you'll be a little bit closer to normal. Not anything crazy, but
I'm down with that.
I think that's fair. Fair change to slow. Whisper of Hedrons definitely did get.
That one hurts because I had my sniping setup built around making my if it came down to I can't snipe because I don't have ammo or they're too close. I ran an igneous hammer and I had so much stuff set to make that thing 2-tap.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and
why I agree with the change the most, because it doesn't do we really need more ways to 2-tap people?
Yes,
we've gotten powers, we got charge.
The price is wrong.
We got so many other things.
Survey says
so no longer increases weapon damage after freezing, which kind of sucks. It now increases weapon stability, weapon aim assist, mobility, resilience, and recovery after freezing.
So the recovery might still be worth stacking.
It might be. It's gonna be weird. I don't know. We'll see how it works. I'd like to know what the increase is. Whisper of rhyme. I'm gonna say rhyme.
I'm trying.
No longer provides overshield while in super.
Which should
I
have
mean,
done that anyway.
yeah,
That's fine.
should do
That
that
was like
anyway.
that's right up there with one item ass giving super shield on kill.
Yep. Cold snap grenades. Now, see, basically, since they nerfed one, the community has just like rotated through stasis grenades because it was like glacier wall, and then it was dust fields, and now it's cold snaps. Seeker no longer tracks targets after initial target acquisition. So basically, if you're able to avoid it, it's not going to continue to track. Is what it sounds like.
Or
It's
not
not
track
going
as
to
hard.
readjust or keep tracking. Yeah. Increased arming duration before Seeker spawns from 0.3 seconds to 0.8 seconds. So it's going to take a little bit longer for that Seeker to spawn. So if you throw it like right,
I feel like that
as you're about
defeats
to
the
die.
purpose of the name. Cold snap. Come on.
Yeah. I mean that 3 seconds. That point. I said 3 seconds, but that 0.3 seconds.
That's a make or break.
Like, yeah. I mean, like I've thrown it after I've died to see it or like before I died and then died and then I don't know. I don't think that needed to be really touched, but nah, whatever.
So there's probably a fragment that affected it, and that's what made him think, let's do this.
Reduce detonation radius versus players from 3 meters to 1.5 meters. So that chaining back and forth when you're like
Dunk would
trying
be
to
happy
team
about
shift.
that.
Yeah, that clip was ridiculous. Yeah, so that chaining that generally happens unless you're backpacking your teammate shouldn't happen as much.
Total side note, I just heard fucking Mr. Miyagi the mosquito. I want to round some applause for that. Caught that shit out of the air.
Hunter reflexes.
I'm a titan, but I can move like a hunter. Fuck
yeah. Now bounces off of walls and detonates on the ground. So honestly, I kind of like that change a little bit.
Ooh, that means you can bank them now. Ooh.
Yeah, so like throwing them before, if like you just clip something, it was you were kind of like the bounce a little bit. I would have preferred if it. I mean, it's probably why they increased the arm duration.
Yeah. To let it bounce.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
What I would like is for like if it makes a direct impact, it's an instant freeze. I wonder if that's possible to make happen.
I have actually hit people with it, and it slows them, but it doesn't freeze.
Okay, that's
Have
weird.
you hit somebody with one? I've noticed when I hit people with cold snaps, like direct impacts.
Have you ever hit anybody before? I hit a man once. It was great.
Next up is Titan Behemoth. Looking at recent gameplay data, apparently they had the highest win rate of any subclass in most 6v6 game modes, and is also among the strongest, and is among the strongest in 3v3 modes. In Trials of Osiris matches, for example, only top tree Dawnblades had a higher win rate. We've taken these strengths into account when balancing the Behemoth's abilities between Shiver Strike, Cryoclasm. The Behemoth has incredibly high mobility and making targeting the Behemoth frustrating for controller players in particular. We've taken steps to make the Behemoth more targetable while moving, which should hopefully alleviate some of this frustration. Good, because
they murdered my boy.
The fact that hunters are supposed to be the mobile class and get outclassed by you fucking titans is annoying.
I mean, do better.
Give me back my blink, man. I was one of those awful hunters in D1 who blinked all over the place.
I believe it. Dirty.
Before they nerfed it. Reduce flight speed and distance for Shiver Strike.
I'm gonna have to play with that because I use that to close gaps and melee the crap out of people.
Reduce knockback versus players, so no more.
That makes me sad because I architected people all the time.
I kind of like. I kind of wish they kept that because like I feel like I don't get yeeted against walls as much, but when it does happen, I'm like okay, that's kind of amusing.
It was like a meme almost.
Removes slow detonation on player impact. I don't know what
It
that's
would slow
referring
if you
to?
hit them. But
Oh,
the reason why that was good was because what it would happen if you slowed them, a lot of times they could melee you at the same time, and they would stay close to you and they wouldn't fly away. So that slow afterwards lets you get the follow up. But also, if you were quick, you could actually get the follow up even with them flying away, which is fantastic.
so that was it for Shiver Strike. I mean, not
Cryoclasm
awful
got
change.
changed to
Yeah.
basically Antaeus wards.
Now requires you to sprint for 1.25 seconds before activation when not in super. It's very oddly specific. I wonder if it just activates its super regardless.
If it does.
Because it says now requires Titans to sprint for 1.25 seconds before activation when not in super. So when you're in super, it keeps the old time, but they also remove the cooldown. So you should be able to slide
Constantly. And with the melee, you're going to be able just to create lines of... I need to go to the lab.
That's going to be
I'll be
kind of broken.
This is going to be dirt disgusting.
Kind of broken. I don't think they thought that through.
I hope they thought that through, and I hope they did that intentionally. I hope that stays.
Next up, Howl of the Storm. Reduced angle of initial freeze / damage cone. So it sounds like you're going to have to be a little bit more accurate with it, which is honestly fine, I think. Reduce crystal creation freeze radius. Crystal creation freezing radius. Oh, okay. So the free. Okay, so yeah, you definitely have to be more accurate. Slowed down sequence of crystal formations to allow victims more opportunity to escape. So your crystals aren't going to just instantaneously appear. Now spawns a small crystal on walls if performed into walls. So you don't get the full whisper effect or anything. I've never actually tried to put one on a wall. It's a little weird. Reduced so glacial quake, reduced heavy slam, vertically freezing range versus players. So
I feel like that was already low.
Yeah. They did I wonder how much the next one's going to make a difference. So they reduced the damage resistance from 50% to 47%. That's just a 3% difference. Is that really enough to like?
I mean, I can still get if I get popped in the head with an aggressive sniper.
Like
what
was damage resistance on specs before they changed it? Was it like 67?
Yes,
I thought it was 67%.
Sure.
Actually, I think it might be 67%. No, I think they dropped it by a lot. I don't remember. So next up on the chopping block,
as hell to kill.
Hunter Remnants. The Remnants Crucible win rate, kills per minute, and average efficiency is generally within top 6 of all subclass trees, but its usage rate is incredibly high. So basically, because everyone's using it, Bungie's saying no, bad. It has the 5th highest win rate of any subclass tree, but is used by a whopping 36% of Trials players. This high usage means players fall victim to its abilities more often, multiplying the frustration of being slowed by Withering Blade and Winter's Shroud. We hope that these changes we've made to being slowed and paired with adjustments to the Revenant's abilities make this a better experience. So it reduced slow duration versus players from 2.5 seconds to 1.5. This is for Withering Blade, so you're slowed less time being slowed. That's good, especially with the changes to being slowed in general. Reduce Whisper of Dorrance, slow duration extension versus players from 2 seconds to 0.5 seconds. I don't think I remember what that whisper does. Reduce damage versus players from 65 to 45 after one bounce. Or 65 to 45 after one bounce, reduced further to 30. So basically, if you bank it off a wall, it's going to do even less damage. Reduce projectile speed by 10%. So they're a bit slower. And they reduce the tracking after bouncing off a wall. So it's still going to have kind of solid tracking if you're not ricocheting it.
Let's make Atheris's Embrace keep the same tracking and speed.
I'm sure there's going to
All hunter projectiles are affected by Athers's Embrace, so you can pull off stupid shit with the knife. Yes. Make it so, Scotty.
So interesting changes to shurikens. I like it. I like the winter shroud ones. I mean, okay. Oh no, yes. Touch of Winter. So Cold Snap Seeker no longer has increased movement speed or travel distance. Cold Snap Seeker now spawns a small stasis crystal on detonation. So I guess if you wanted to slam next to it, I don't know. I have no clue what you'd want a small crystal for, but I guess.
Size doesn't matter, remember? I'm just saying.
So next up, Shadebinder. Generally within the top 10 of all subclass trees. It had the 9th highest win rate of all trees in trials.
I like how they list all these things, and then Chances is over here like, I'm one of the 2 Nova Warp mains that you can find on Twitter. Fuck them.
Literally, I'm like...
It's literally you and Nim. Like, you and Nim plays are the only 2 Nova Warp mains I know.
Not even y'all are anymore. Nim mains Stasis now. It's literally just me now. I don't know a single other Nova Warp main.
Poor man.
I stand alone.
Penumbral Blast. Reduce tracking and proximity detonation size and tracking versus players. I wonder how far they reduced it. Because, right now, it's kind of insane.
I heard that it tracked.
However,
when I see that, I am just like, no, I'm out. Deuces.
Yeah, I instantly run the opposite direction.
I will admit it. I turn into a little bitch. I'm gone.
I mean, you have to be. It tracks around corners, man. It's ridiculous.
I want to live. I want to live.
Like Gallahorn on steroids.
It's like that one video with the truth rocket. Just
yes, it is literally like Truth from D1. Like that's how bad it is. It's kind of ridiculous. Reduce freeze radius versus players when impacting the environment from 2.7 to 1.5. So even if it misses right now, if you're super close to wherever it explodes, you're frozen. So it's definitely it's good to rein that in. I'm hoping that they didn't completely undo the tracking changes to Penumbral Blast. Should retain some of it, not all of it. I would hate to see it go back to what it was before, because it kind of sucked. Seekers now only for Ice Flare Bolt. Seekers now only chain once when spawned from a player shatter. So the Seeker after the melee only pops once. That's fair. I mean, hell, in trials, if you kill somebody with that frees a second, that's probably the end of the round. Winter's Wrath, freezing projectile tracking strength now ramps down to 0 after 2 seconds of flight. We hope these changes have a positive impact on your Crucible experience. While the gameplay team is very busy working on future releases, Crucible and PvP communities are incredibly important to us. It's been over
602 days since we have gotten a map. Thank you.
Help me moralize. Are incredibly important to us, and we'll continue to monitor gameplay data and community feedback regarding Stasis and subclass abilities in general. We'll continue to update Stasis until its win rates and usage rates are in line with the light subclasses. Expect more updates in the future. Like I said, they're going to continue to nerf Stasis until Witch Queen, when we get another subclass and they bring the light subclasses up, and then nobody's going to want to use Stasis ever again because we're going to have these cool new dark classes, and light subclasses will probably end up getting buffed.
Stop talking sense, damn it. I hate you. No, you're probably right, honestly. Like, with how everything is, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, and that it took this long to make these changes. I get that you want the data and you're wanting to make sure that you're not swinging the damn pendulum back and forth and whatnot, but when it's affecting a game mode the way it did, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean,
also,
how many
these are kind of obvious as hell changes. I
mean,
I'm gonna give them props where it's due, where they move this up from their months
Yeah, because this was supposed to be part of next season, I think.
That would have been horrible. Imagine
When-
waiting
when-
3 more months for these things.
When does next season fall?
Like 3 months or something
In
like
the summer? Oh, who said it was going to happen in the summer?
That.
Originally.
Ridiculous.
I wonder who said that.
Okay.
Let me just sip on this real quick.
Just stop messing with your warlock tendencies here, sir.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like, it's stupid.
I'm going to go with this is Mr. Joe Blackburn, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with this is his doing, and the original plan was to do it next season under Luke Smith because Luke is definitely, a dollars kind of guy. We need to keep selling DLCs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that. What were we calling this before? The unfunkening? That's what we were calling it. Blackburn overturning everything that Smith did. It's called the unfuckening.
He's just like, hey, Luke, look at this nice tower you built here. Psych, fuck off.
We're going to hell.
You know that I don't know if you guys watched the Chappelle show back in the day, but the skit with Rick James where where Charlie Murphy's telling the story of Rick James on their couch. Fuck yo couch. Rick James. Blackburn.
This is why we're not allowed in public and y'all only can catch us here.
I love that show.
Vault of Glass was back. Me and Fates have not ran it, but
No.
Chance, the resident Sherpa extraordinaire, got to run it. How bad was it, Chance? Tell me your woes.
3 times. I ran it once on day 1, which hurt. I ran it again the day after, and then I ran it again Monday because somebody wanted a ring and wanted to get it before reset or whatever. I love the changes. It's actually a pretty damn good raid. It's nice to run it again. I'm gonna run it again after this podcast is done.
I was about to say you're gonna have to drag my ass through it probably Sunday night or Monday.
Was I correct?
What was your prediction again?
I said they put what are those stupid things called?
Wyverns.
Wyverns. I always forget what they're called. They put Did they put wyverns in the like the Mars and Venus with the oracles?
Not with the oracles, but in the gatekeeper section, they will spawn there. So yes.
Okay.
Just immediate yeet.
I'm just curious.
If you don't kill them, you're gone. Like they're drop kicking you off the map.
I want to get my raid ring. I will definitely be shooting to do that at some point.
Isn't it already over?
No, isn't it?
You had to do it in the first week.
Yeah, I think
was
so.
it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
I missed it too.
Oh well.
It was one of those things I wanted, but
I'll get my God Rolled Fatebringer instead. It's fine.
He's gonna get it on the first run, and I'm gonna go sit in the corner and cry with my.
I haven't played a lot this
wellspring
season, actually, man. I am super far behind.
I barely played. Like I played some PvP the other day just to kind of get a feel for things, but I'm life.
Yeah, I mean literally life. I've been just busy, and then by the time I actually am inside or in my room or at my computer, it's I'm going to bed because it's midnight. I'm tired.
Right.
I'm exhausted.
I feel that on an emotional level, but we're keeping it short and sweet today. We got we covered some stuff. Got Vault of Glass, quick peek, some Stasis patch notes that we're going to be playing with and giving our thoughts on next week. And that's going to be it for us here at 7CR. If you want to catch me live, you can catch me at twitch.tv/Tibbercat. Fates, where can they find you?
Twitch.tv/Fates_Pyro. I think that's it. I haven't been live in a week.
Same.
I forget what my name is. Yes, Fates_Pyro would be my name. It's pretty much my name everywhere.
That's hilarious.
Twitter, Facebook.
It's hilarious because I relate to that. Chance, where can people find you at?
GearShift09 on Twitter and Insta, and I I mean, I streamed once for like the vlog thing, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do that again.
Hell yeah, man!
Hell yeah.
Do it. That's gonna be it for us here, y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one.